Your top stories this evening, sponsored by Courts, bringing value home. AZRUDDIN Mohammed and his father indicted by United States, also accused of paying bribes to government officials. Education Minister hails teachers, meets with Teaching Service Commission on World Teachers' Day. Women in politics are misread or misunderstood. Political status quo must change, says WALTON-DESIR. Diamond Grove residents without stable water supply for 2 months. Urgent need for relevant authorities to intervene. And in sport, JASMIN BILLINGY, new senior women's table tennis champion. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm Travis Chase with the Monday, October 6th edition of the HGP Nightly News. Here's what you need to know this evening. Accused of paying bribes to Guyanese government officials to facilitate shipments of gold, AZRUDDIN Mohammed and his father have been indicted in the United States on several charges. Here's more. Following their sanctions by the United States Treasury Department's Office of Foreign Assets Control, OFAC, a United States grand jury on October 2 indicted leader of the We Invest in Nationhood Party, AZRUDDIN Mohammed, and his father, Nizar Mohammed. The United States Florida Southern District Court indicted the businessman and his father on 4 counts of gold shipment that was seized in Miami in 2024. The United States wants the father and son on charges of wire and mail fraud and conspiracy to commit money laundering, stemming from tax evasion on gold exports and the importation of a Lamborghini luxury car. According to the United States, if found guilty on the charges, they are facing no less than 20 years behind bars. The indictment disclosed that a shipment containing approximately 5.3 million US in gold bars shipped from Guyana by Mohammed's enterprise was seized at Miami International Airport on June 11, 2024. The U.S. is also asking the court that, quote, upon conviction, as alleged in this indictment, the defendants shall forfeit to the United States any property, real or personal, which constitutes or is derived from proceeds traceable to such offense. The U.S. accuses the Mohammeds of reusing empty boxes with intact Guyana Revenue Authority and Guyana Gold Board seals for shipments of gold to make it appear that Mohammed's enterprise had paid Guyana taxes and royalties on shipments of gold, when in truth and in fact, Mohammed's enterprise had not paid them on those shipments of gold. The grand jury also accuses the Mohammeds of paying bribes to several Guyanese government officials to facilitate shipments. On June 11, 2024, the United States Department of the Treasury imposed sanctions on Mohammed and his father Nizar Mohammed over gold smuggling. PBPC's May Thomas was also sanctioned for corruption. An indictment is an accusation in writing found and presented by a grand jury, legally sworn to the court in which it is empaneled. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. The new Demerara River Bridge was finally commissioned amid pomp and ceremony as thousands of Guyanese descended onto the iconic structure in an atmosphere buzzing with pride and joy. Marvin Cato reports.
I thank you for your steadfast commitment. And I know how hard you work. All night, Patrick, all morning. But today, we can celebrate together.
That was President Irfan Ali giving the featured address at the commissioning of the new Demerara River Bridge. There were video presentations showing the final pour and other aspects of the construction milestone, and a fanciful cultural presentation to mark the commemoration. The government pulled out all the stops in showcasing their legacy project. Meanwhile, Chinese Ambassador of Guyana, Yang Yang, praised Guyana on this achievement.
On this momentous occasion, I wish to extend the warmest congratulations to the government of Guyana for the unwavering commitment to advancing national development.
The contracting construction company, even though faced with many challenges, an accidental death of a worker being a severe blow, they were proud of their achievement.
On behalf of my company, my sincere congratulations to Guyana and thank you to everyone who made this achievement possible.
Project consultants Polytechnic was tasked with ensuring international standards were met and the people of Guyana received value for money spent.
Polytechnic has served with dedication as the supervisory engineer for the government of Guyana on this project. We worked as one team in respectful and fruitful collaboration with the contractors.
The new name for the Demerara River Bridge was then revealed by the President at the end of the ceremony, the bridge now having the name of former President and sitting Vice President Barrett Jagdeo. Marvin Cato reporting for HGP Nightly News.
Meanwhile, Vice President Barrett Jagdeo now has a bridge named in his honor, the Barrett Jagdeo Demerara River Bridge. More in this report. Built by China Railway Construction Corporation, a company which was sanctioned as a result of executive orders by Presidents Joe Biden and Donald Trump, the new US $260 million Demerara Harbor Bridge, which was commissioned on Sunday, has been named the Barrett Jagdeo River Bridge. This is according to President Irfan Ali, who delivered the feature address at the commissioning of the bridge.
Today, on behalf of a grateful people, I am pleased to dedicate this bridge in the name of Barrett Jagdeo. From this day forward, it shall be called the Barrett Jagdeo Demerara River Bridge. Because great men deserve recognition, because visionaries deserve legacies.
President Ali said Vice President Barrett Jagdeo, who was Guyana's longest-serving president, has dedicated his life to the advancement of Guyana since before 1999.
That has dedicated his life to the upliftment of this country. A man who has been an advisor, an architect, and an anchor in our development. Today, I want to pay tribute to a giant of our local politics and economy, Barrett Jagdeo.
According to President Ali, several Guyanese leaders will be recognized through projects to be undertaken by his government.
In all our country, there are leaders that have shown us true dedication and commitment. And in the coming months, as we unveil all of these magical projects, we will recognize all of those leaders.
Construction of the Barrett Jagdeo Demerara River Bridge began in December 22, 2022. It is a modern 4-lane high-span cable-stayed structure designed to accommodate both vehicular and pedestrian traffic. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. Stay with us. You're watching the HGP Nightly News. Welcome back to the HGP Nightly News. We tell you now that as Guyana joined the rest of the world in celebrating World Teachers' Day 2025, the Minister of Education, Sonia Parag, delivered a strong message of appreciation to teachers nationwide. The day also saw her convening her first meeting with the Teaching Service Commission, where key issues such as promotions were discussed. Jada June reports.
Minister of Education Sonia Parag, in extending warm wishes to the teachers across Guyana in observance of World Teachers' Day 2025, commended educators for their unwavering dedication and invaluable contributions to the education sector.
Allow me to wish you the very best for the academic year 2025 to 2026, and in your personal lives as well. You have the noble and monumental task of nurturing our young minds into beautiful adults.
Minister Parag underscored our commitment to building a strong partnership with educators, one rooted in professionalism, accountability, and open dialogue. She pledged to create support systems not only for students and parents, but also for teachers themselves, while expressing heartfelt gratitude to those who have given years of service to ensure students' success. Reflecting on the last 5 years, the minister promised to continue advancing this sector.
So on this World Teachers Day, recognize your importance, recognize your value, as we do. So in the next 5 years, I look forward to the support of teachers to ensuring that our education sector rise as high as it can go.
In addition to our Teachers' Day message, Minister Parag convened an introductory meeting with the members of the Teaching Service Commission. During the engagement, she was also briefed on several pending matters, including teachers' promotions. Jada June reported for HGP Nightly News.
Forward Guyana Movement and its coalition partners are moving on from their most recent public spat and are engaged in discussions on the way forward. Marvin Cato will tell you more.
I will say this. Women in politics, women in leadership, we have a very difficult time.
That was leader of the Forward Guyana Movement, FGM, Amanzo WALTON-DESIR, addressing the scathing response from Vigilant Political Action Committee, VPAC, which was put out in the public a week ago following a misunderstanding among coalition partners. WALTON-DESIR believes women in politics will experience their fair share of challenges, especially as leaders, since their performances are not measured with the same yardstick as men.
The patriarchal nature of our society does not accommodate women being firm, being principled, and sitting in their truth and in sitting in what they want and being firm about what they want.
She believes the society is not yet politically matured to handle a politically strong woman.
We have grown accustomed in our society and politically, and particularly in the political sphere, we've grown accustomed to women always being the ones that are accommodating and moving aside.
WALTON-DESIR believes the time has come for all those perceptions to change and believes she is a beacon of hope and a disruptor to the present political system. She said, now is not the time to sit down and allow the status quo to continue, but will push aggressively for needed change.
When a woman is confident, it's perceived a certain way. Confidence in a man, however, is not perceived the same way. When a woman is sure about what she wants and about where she stands, she's seen as aggressive. That in a man is seen as being self-assured.
Marvin Cato reporting for HGP Nightly News.
Guyanese students once again stood tall, making their mark on the regional stage as the Hugh Wooding Law School hosted its 2025 graduation exercise. It was a night of pride and achievement in the Twin Island Republic for the Guyanese scholars. Jada June reports.
Guyanese law students once again made their country proud at the Hugh Wooding Law School graduation ceremony held on Saturday evening in Trinidad. Of the 200 students who successfully completed the 2-year legal education certificate program, an impressive 42 hailed from Guyana. The large cohort reflects the nation's growing presence and influence on the regional legal landscape, as more young professionals take up the challenge to advance legal training and practice. We caught up with Naya Williams, who successfully completed the legal education certificate. Williams expressed joy and gratitude, describing the journey as challenging but rewarding. She also stated our contributions she will make over the next 5 to 10 years.
My intention is to dip my toe into the different fields and see which one I like the most. As it stands, because of my background in the creative arts industry.
The sacrifice and determination required to reach this milestone were highlighted, while also thanking our family, lecturers, and peers for their unwavering support.
I am hoping to play a key role within the expansion of the intellectual property law sector.
For Guyana, the achievement represents not only the personal triumph, but also a continued strengthening of the country's legal fraternity. Future law students were also advised to put their best foot forward.
I would like to see don't allow law to be your entire life, but it's so important for you to have balance and for you to have a bit of versatility in your life.
Jada June reporter for HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Jada, and congratulations to all. Stay with us. There is more news ahead. Thanks for staying tuned to the HGP Nightly News. A wave of fear is sweeping through communities in Region 10 as the Police High Command has publicly revealed a terrifying increase in sexual offences, particularly those crimes classified as statutory rape. They are devastating young girls and children. Here's that report.
Residents in Upper Demerara, BRIBES Region 10 communities are living in fear as terrifying cases of sexual offences are on the increase, particularly those crimes classified as statutory rape. Such cases are devastating young girls and children in the region. Assistant Commissioner Curly Simon, the Region 10 Police Commander, delivered the grave warning during a recent broadcast of the Police and You program. Simon emphasized that sexual offences are not merely statistics, but a major issue, severely impacting the region's most vulnerable population, known as children. He stated unequivocally that the Ghana Police Force views these offences as serious crimes and is dedicating intense scrutiny to every reported case. In a dramatic move to contain the crisis, Commander Simon announced that Regional Division 10 will host an emergency stakeholder forum this week. This decisive effort aims to break the cycle of abuse through a coordinated counterattack involving education and heightened investigative support. The forum will bring together key partners, including the Child Care and Protection Agency and Blossom Inc., in a collaborative effort to fortify community defenses. Simon explained the high-stakes goal to improve police effectiveness in investigating these brutal crimes, while simultaneously empowering the youth. He stressed that a primary focus is to, quote-unquote, educate young children on precautionary measures that they can take to avoid becoming victims. The commander underscored the critical need for immediate community awareness, ensuring that every young person knows their rights and understands precisely how to seek help when they face the threat of abuse. The forum signals that the police are moving beyond routine measures to protect the children of Region 10 from this dangerous surge in predation. Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Residents of the Diamond Grove community are facing an unreliable supply of water for almost 2 months. They're hoping that the relevant authorities can immediately remedy the situation, which will bring relief to thousands of customers. Nightly News' Antonio Day visited the community and filed this report.
Several residents of the Diamond Grove community have to face the inconvenience of experiencing unstable water supply for the past 2 months, and a resolution is nowhere in sight. One resident who goes by the name of Jarvis lamented that early in the mornings, he and family have to set buckets and drums to store water to take care of their domestic duties. He noted that it is very difficult to adjust to these circumstances.
With HGP's Sports Buds.
For full, yeah, them jar full, container full, top full, right? So there's always there for get the thing for full, full the water and left it, and well we get buy the water for drink.
Mr. Jarvis said he was made aware that the Ghana Water Incorporation is undertaking some remedial works to a well in the community. He is, however, hopeful that the situation will be rectified very soon. Another resident who preferred her identity concealed lamented on the water discoloration, saying that the situation is very stressful.
2 days before election, we are not getting the water. It's coming on like sometimes 7, 6:30 and cut off. When it do come, it come like you. If I pay more enough, how it coming? Then it go come brown. Sometimes 2-3 days we ain't get no water, but the water bill coming.
Noting the unstable water supply, the residents lamented that she is forced to purchase distilled water. The frustrated woman noted that purchasing distilled water is very costly since she is a single parent.
I just buy water.
Oh.
Sometimes for the week. Sometimes for the week I just buy like 6 or 9 bottles of water. Get a child going to school.
And how much does that cost you?
300 for one.
300 for one?
Yes, and I'm a single mom.
Meanwhile, Jasmine Hackett, one of the newly elected regional Democratic councillors for Region 4, in a video statement, stressed the urgency of the situation as it is very disgusting. Hackett noted that due to the situation, neighbors had to find alternative methods to access water.
So in order for us to now get water yesterday and the day before, we had to then burst a pipe in the ground so that we could have gotten some water to do what is necessary throughout our days and to carry on our day-to-day life.
She called on those in authority to remedy the situation, as several businesses in the community have been impacted due to the water being inaccessible.
We're urging the government to look into this issue, especially the Minister of Housing and Water to look into this. Even our businesses around here, like the car wash and so on, and the laundry places and stuff like that, they're not getting water to do what they ought to do.
Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Stay tuned for regional news.
Good evening and welcome to Monday's edition of the Regional News. I am Antonio Day. We begin with news in the Bahamas. Bahamian police said that they have seized more than $12 million in cocaine during several operations over the last weekend. The force said on Saturday night the two men were arrested on Cat Island after they were found with $7.8 million worth of cocaine in a joint operation involving U.S. drug enforcement officers, DEA, and the local officers. Head of the Drug Enforcement Unit, Superintendent Wendy Pearson, said that while on board, a U.S. helicopter on the southern tip of Cat Island observed two males in low-lying bushes along with a number of crocker sacks. As a result of that, the officers landed where they proceeded into the low-lying bushes where they detained two males. They then checked those crocker sacks and discovered that each of those sacks contained a number of kilo packages of suspected cocaine, she added. She said that the men ages 42 and 37 were arrested and taken to New Providence, where the drug seized weighed 359 kilograms. Turning attention to news in Trinidad and Tobago. In Trinidad, a major intelligence-led operation involving several arms of national security disrupted an attempted drone-based contraband smuggling operation near the Oruka Maximum Security Prison between Friday evening and Saturday morning. Acting on credible intelligence, law enforcement officers conducted surveillance in the 4th Street Extension, Bon Air area after receiving reports of individuals attempting to use a drone to smuggle contraband into the prison. A search of a nearby bushy area resulted in the apprehension of two suspects, a 13-year-old boy and a 26-year-old man, who attempted to flee by running through dense vegetation and leaping from a 25-foot embankment. They were held following a targeted search of a river in the area. Police said that one of them sustained injuries during his escape attempt and was treated at a medical facility. Several items were confiscated during the operation. And finally, with some international news, the U.S. Supreme Court began its new 9-month term on Monday with major cases in store concerning presidential powers as Donald Trump probes the limits of his authority on the U.S. Constitution and federal law while turning away a high-profile appeal by Jeffrey Epstein's former girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell. Before hearing arguments in his first two cases of the term, the court rebuffed appeals in multiple cases. One of them was a bid by British socialite Maxwell to overturn her conviction for helping Epstein, the late financier and convicted sex offender, sexually abuse teenage girls as the justices sheer clear of a case that continues to haunt Trump and his administration. Thank you for watching. I am Antonio Day. Goodbye for now.
Good evening, Guyana. I'm Delwyn Neblet with your HGP TV Sports Pulse for today, Monday, October 6th, 2025. We begin tonight with table tennis. JASMIN BILLINGY rises to become new senior women's table tennis champion. On an action-packed day at the National Gymnasium on Mandela Avenue, 15-year-old table tennis prodigy JASMIN Billingy produced a masterful run, defeating Siona Barker 3-0 and Navia Clarkson 3-1 before beating Samara Sukai 3-0 in the championship final to be crowned the 2025 Senior Women's National Champion. The victory comes after countless titles at the junior level, and the rising star mentioned via social media that it was a testimony to her hard work, which has paid off. Billingy now holds both women's national titles, having secured the doubles championship with partner Samara Sukai on Saturday by defeating Akira Watson and Siona Barker 3-1. Moving into bodybuilding, Ghana's world-ranked bodybuilder, Rosanna Fong, has secured a massive victory in a major professional show ahead of the upcoming World Championships in Dubai. Fong, who competes in the fiercely contested wellness category, claimed the first place trophy at the Mexico Pro Show Wellness Weekend, marking a significant step up from her second place finish in the same event last year. The triumph is a critical piece of preparation as Fong now heads to the IFBB World Championships in Dubai. Now into football, action resumed in Division 1 of the Ghana Football Federation's Women's League 2025 with 2 fixtures at the National Training Center in Providence on Friday. The first match was a 2-0 victory for Santos FC over Anse Grove United, as Aliyah France and Christy Daniels each scored once in a winning effort. The second match was an entertaining 1-1 draw between Mainstay Gold Stars and Riversview FC, as Ashley Koja and Verena Daniels each scored 1 goal for their respective sides. Action also resumed in Season 7 of the Ghana Football Federation's Elite League with 2 fixtures at the National Training Center in Providence on Saturday and 2 fixtures on Sunday. On Saturday, Anse Grove United produced a solid 5-2 victory over the Mainstay Gold Stars on the back of a double from player of the match Jermaine Samuels, as Nyron Jerick, Jaden Van Groningen and Shueb Berkshire each scored once in a winning effort. Mainstays Damian Lynch and Calvin Richmond each secured themselves 1 goal for the losing side. In the second match on Saturday, it was a commanding 10-1 victory for the eminent champion Slingers FC over Menedalus. Lyron Tom netted once in the big loss as MVP Daron Niles produced another scintillating hat-trick, and Darrell Garcia and Kamar Beckford each scored brilliant doubles. 1 goal each for Nikolai Andrews, Curtis Kelman and Jean Hy McFree would be enough for tabletopper Slingers to maintain their unbeaten record. The first match on Sunday was a tense 1-0 victory for the Namsel over the Fruta Conquerors, as player of the match Callon Nelson was solid in defense and Jamal Robinson scored once in a winning effort. In match number 2, goals from Colin Nelson and Abum Chiaparo were enough to secure a 2-0 victory for the Ghana Defence Force over Santos FC. More in football, action resumed in the round of 16 of the Blue Waters Inc. Under-15 Girls Football Championship with 6 matches at the number 5 ground West Coast Babies on Saturday. 4 regional playoff champions, Kanchi Secondary, Bushlot Secondary, New Camberville Secondary and President's College competed in the round robin for a top 2 spot to advance to the round of 8, with Bushlot and President's College securing their places in the end. President's College remained unbeaten as strikers Louisa Pugsley, Kimura Edwards, Rihanna Gunga, Shamel Blake, Nalini LaRose and Nisa Lewis contributed to a total of 28 goals in 3 matches. Ashanti Scott, with 4 goals, led the Bushlot Secondary to 2 clutch wins against Kanji and Camberville to keep themselves in contention. In cricket, the Ghana Cricket Board have officially announced the selected squads for the upcoming Senior Men's 50-over Intercounty Tournament, which commences on October 11, 2025. The 4 participating teams will represent Demerara, BRIBES, Essequibo, and a GCB Select 11. The Demerara side, coached by former national spinner Garvin Ned and managed by Surendra Hirlal, will be led by opening batsman Matthew Nandu and includes vice-captain Ronaldo Ali Mohamed, West Indies under-19 all-rounder Jonathan Van Lang, and the talented junior national wicketkeeper batter Shamar Apple. BRIBES will be led by national fast bowler Niall Smith, with the experienced Versami Pamal serving as vice-captain. David Black will serve as manager, while Winston Smith will be BRIBES' head coach. Essequibo will be coached by former junior national wicketkeeper Delroy Jacobs and managed by Rayon DeCosta, as captain Kamal Savory will be assisted by Kimo Paul and Ricardo Adams. The GCB Select 11, with coach Julian Moore and manager former Test batter Travis Dowlin, will be led by Romeo Dionarine and will feature vice-captain Brandon Jaikaran and Akshay Prasad. Finally, in cricket, action continued in the Georgetown Cricket Association's Dave West Indian 50-over First Division tournament with the 2 fixtures in Georgetown on Saturday. At the Police Sports Club ground, Ivleary, the Georgetown Cricket Club defeated the Transport Sports Club by 273 runs. Batting first, GCC were bowled out for 359 in 48.1 overs as Nehemiah Owenkirk picked up 3 for 56 and Akshay Prasad and Mavindra Dindyal scored touch half centuries. Transport were then bowled out for just 89 in 15.3 overs as Devon Lord, Aryan Prasad and Carlos LaRose each chipped in with 3 wickets. At DCC, the host side defeated MYO by 37 runs in a high-scoring match that produced 797 runs in 80 overs. Batting first, DCC amassed 417 for 9 in 45.1 overs as Brandon Jaikaran scored a brilliant 103 and the experienced Chris Barnwell added 70. Kevin Umroh was the pick of the bowlers for the visitors, taking 4 for 44, and when they responded, a magnificent 161 from Travis Kadir and 81 from Sachin Balgobin propelled them to a fighting 380 for 7 as both Barnwell and Ashmed Ned picked up 2 wickets in a winning effort. That's it for this edition of the HGP TV Sports Pulse. I'm Delwyn Neblet reminding you to stay in the game.
AZRUDDIN Mohammed and father indicted by US, also accused of paying bribes to government officials. Education Minister hails teachers, meets with Teaching Service Commission on World Teachers' Day. Women in politics are misread or misunderstood. Political status quo must change, says WALTON-DESIR. Diamond Grove residents without stable water supply for 2 months. Urgent need for relevant authorities to intervene. And in sport, JASMIN is now the new senior women's table tennis champion. Those are our major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm Travis Chase. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.